What are you most pleasantly surprised with from the end of last season to today?
Oh, we just started. Man, I didn't know that was the question. Throw me off. Say it again. I'm sorry.
What are you most pleasantly surprised with maybe from the end of the season to where you're sitting today getting ready to start fall camp?
Just their approach to the offseason. I think we had an amazing winter, and then they followed that up with a great spring, and then tripled down all the way into the summer. So I think my guys are just pretty excited that they believe. They see the light at the end of the tunnel, and they actually are understanding what we're trying to do, and I think they're looking forward to it.
Coach, with Nico, he had a lot of unfortunate outside noise before coming to UCLA. What are the conversations been like with him to make sure that doesn't affect him and he focuses on being UCLA's quarterback?
He's just somebody that I don't think he can really get rattled. Personality-wise, he's kind of quiet a little bit, but confidence. But he's a quarterback. You got to be able to function with stuff around you. Like turn around, he has a whole stage of people that want to talk to him, but he's just somebody that he's composed, and I just hope that he just brings that to the field, and we just continue to grow.
I was wondering just what was the thought process like in just bringing him here? Was it his idea? Was it something you wanted to do? Because there's just been so many questions about him. This is the first time we've seen him since everything happened, I guess.
Oh, to the Big Ten?
Yeah, the Big Ten Media Day.
Oh, yeah, I wanted to bring him here. Just it's time to let you tell your story. A lot of people wrote a book for you and didn't talk to him about it. So I just wanted him to be able to come out here and not for me, because you guys are going to ask me these questions, and now I'm speaking for him. So I wanted him to be able to go out there and really tell his truth.
And how important was it to make sure he got this opportunity before the season started, before practices started? That way, all the questions were kind of out of the way.
It's huge. It's huge because now we can just go back to playing ball. Kind of put some to rest and let that go, and now we can go play ball. And I just think that he was looking forward to this opportunity. It was never like I don't want to come or anything. I asked him, he was like, yeah, and we're here.
From a national perspective, how do you guys keep, because obviously when the season gets started, the national is going to be there. Some similar type of questions. How do you prepare not just Nico, but the rest of the team from staying focused and not being distracted?
I think our SID and everybody, they did a good job of just prepping them for the questions that they thought that they could hear today. And we're probably just going to have to continue with that type of treatment. But, you want noise. You want people to be talking about us, and in a couple months, you guys are going to be talking about us winning games and not the quarterback.
When you look at this defense and how you envision this defense ultimately coming to fruition, how do you see that happening with the coaching staff making that transition to the defense effectively?
That's going to be difficult because, we lost a lot of key talent. All the guys got drafted off that defense. But, some of the guys that were behind them are excited to get their opportunity. They were able to learn from these guys, and now they're excited for their opportunity. Up front, I was able to bring back Gary Smith, who got injured last season. Keanu Williams got injured last season. These are two guys that are really focal points up front, especially with Jay leaving, with Carson Stressinger and Finney leaving. We have some linebackers that can step up, and John Vaughn is one of them. That's why he's here. J9 is another one, and then we have a sophomore transfer from Oregon State, Chisholm. So it's looking good. We're just ready for this opportunity. I'm kind of excited just for training. I want to get out there and see my players play. And I think they're pretty excited for that same thing too, because we've just been grinding for a while, and it's time to play some ball.
Coach, what attracted you to the team?
I think just my relationship with him. His dad was my D-line coach in Carolina, so I've known Tino since he was 11 or 12. And seeing how he's evolved as a coach and everything, it just resonated that this is something that I want to get inside.
Sometimes dealing with bringing in a quarterback when you already brought in somebody from the portal can be a delicate situation. How did you handle it with Joey? Were you up front with him, or did you figure this is our business? How did you handle it?
Yeah, once it went public, we talked to Joey before it went public. So you heard it from us before you heard it from the media or anything.
Going back to the
you have to
process.
deal with NIL. It's one thing, but you just talk about got a bunch of guys drafted, player linebackers got drafted. How hard is it to hold on to assistant coaches who are producing those players? At this level.
Scotty White that was somebody that people across the street were trying to steal from him. So he's a great coach, and he's somebody that we have a personal relationship with. So I don't think them trying to steal him was gonna work, but it was, like you say, when the guys are getting drafted, they're gonna try to steal your people, and I'm just glad that Scotty White chose to stay with us.
DeShaun, going back to you in high school, all the way through college and pros, you've always been known as a very genuine person. How does that help you to build those quality relationships with your players?
It's relationships, and I think they can see that I'm genuine, and it just resonates with them, But that's it. I kind of gravitated to coaches that were genuine, and I think I just lean on my prior experiences a lot, and that kind of helps me in this coaching realm.
Going back to the
reach out to John Fox, past coaches who have helped you, especially now going into your second year.
Most definitely. Talked to Foxy, especially last year right before I got the job. I talked to Kelly Skipper, my running back coach. He's with Buffalo Bills. He was my running back coach at UCLA. I talked to his dad, Kelly Skipper, who was my running back coach in Carolina. So I have a lot of people around me that I can get a lot of information from, and they're willing to help me. They want to see me succeed.
Sean, going back to the process with Nico and the initial timeline, like at what point did you get involved? Did you believe that you could get involved? Because when it's the first unfurling of, okay, he's considering going in, no, he's not considering going in, no, he is now in. Dan Lanning called Tennessee to let they know that they could be going in. What point, and who's shopping where? There seemed to be several days there where any number of people were involved. When did you get involved? When did you think UCLA could get involved?
Once he was in the portal. So whenever he got in the portal, that's when we got involved. But I'd already talked to the dad because I had a son. I had Madden committed to me before. So on signing day, he signed with Arkansas because I made a change on offense. And so communications was done. And then once he got in the portal, we were able to crank it back up and get him here.
And speaking of Madden, he's an interesting situation with him. Not necessarily the decommitment part, but the fact that he only played one game in his high school season, tried to transfer, wasn't able to, play again. When you've got a quarterback who's, I guess, doesn't have as many reps at the high school level, what's the development plan for him for this year, and then the future right after that?
He's just like any other player. Got to get reps. I'm about to take a wide receiver who's had unfortunate 2 season-ending injuries. So it's the same thing. He hasn't been able to play since his sophomore season. So it's very unfortunate, but we're gonna just find ways to get him reps and continue to have him grow. I think he has a high ceiling, and he's willing to learn and willing to work.
Coach, how would you say you've changed from year 2 to year 1, and how would you say the program's changed from year 2 to year 1?
This is mostly just being comfortable. Once you get more familiar, I've done this before. I've been in the Big Ten before, so all is a bit familiar. Spring ball, we did that before. So it's completely slowed down from where it was. But every year you got to grow. There's growth with me in the press conference, and there's going to be growth with my team this season. So you'll be able to see that.
Your running back depth, you quietly kind of added Javian Thomas to the group there. How do you see the pecking order shaking out, at least at the start of camp? Because I remember when you guys brought in Berger, similar situation, summer arrival, but he needed some time to round into shape. Where's Javian on that timeline?
He's in shape because he was able to do
went through spring.
Exactly. Berger didn't do spring, so that was a setback for him. But, Jet's in a great position. We're excited about him to see what he can bring to the table, and he's a guy that has explosive capabilities, and we're looking forward to him.
Coach, 2-part question here. You guys are going to Columbus later in the year. Being that it's year 2 in the Big Ten for UCLA and some of your players, what's it like showing them new stadium, new places in the Big Ten for some of those guys who've never experienced it before? And then also when you're facing a guy like Jeremiah Smith, how do you approach those elite talents and trying to stop guys like that?
They're looking forward to it. You know, like I did last year, I'm gonna do the same thing this season. We'll probably go out there the day before early, show them the arena, and then go back to the hotel. And so it's not the first time on game day. You know, let them get it out. Let them be fans of, you know, because these are some iconic stadiums. You know, we're going to Horseshoe. They have names. It's not just stadium. You know what I mean? So I'm excited for it. I've played in the Horseshoe, so I know it can get rocky and stuff like that. And I know our players are looking forward to these opportunities to play against top talent, like you said. And I wish I could call Chip and just tell him don't throw him the ball, but that's not the case anymore. So.
Back to Tino.
What do you know about Coach Mullen and how do you prepare against him?
Big time coach. You know, he was in SEC. Probably shouldn't have been let go or whatnot, or whatever situation happened for him. So I know he's a good coach, and I know he's fired up to get an opportunity to play against a Big Ten opponent like us. So we're gonna make sure that they got to match our intensity for that game. But I'm looking forward to it.
What do you respect about Nico's humbleness, his maturity since day one in your building?
He's just somebody that I played with Julius Peppers, and they're very similar. You know, larger than most humans, but kind of don't want that attention. And I just like that because, you know, he's human, and you can kind of tell that he's a team guy and a family guy. A lot of people kind of want that attention for themselves, and he's not somebody that does that. So it just felt good to know that we got the right type of quarterback.
Back with Tino.
How do you balance the expectations for your ball club, particularly Nico, as opposed to dealing with reality?
We're still figuring that out, you know. But you want expectations, you know. I don't necessarily want the expectations you guys have put on us. I want expectations of wins and stuff like that. So yeah, we're looking forward to it. But it's ball, and that's the best part about this. It will reveal itself, and you got to line up each week and play. And I'm looking forward to it.
Back with Tino. You mentioned his personality and your relationship. What about scheme-wise? Were you excited about that he would bring to kind of the offense, and was his background with quarterbacks specifically kind of important and driving force maybe in targeting?
Yeah, most definitely, because he's had a lot of success with one-year quarterbacks. So that's what we're really excited about, that he's taking guys in 1 year and completely flipped it upside down. So we're looking forward to that. I'm not really going to get into the scheme and everything, but I love what he's bringing to the table, and I'm excited about that also. But we're just looking forward to this. I want to just get out there and just show what UCLA football looks like here too.
And is this offense kind of user-friendly in that way, where you take in one-year guys and have them be ready to go pretty quickly?
Most definitely. You know, especially with him with the quarterbacks, I think it might not have been like that if he wasn't a quarterback coach or has the experience that he has with the quarterbacks. But I'm just looking forward to it because I know that he's excited about this challenge, and I am too.
What's
Coach,
the advice?
Coach, how are you feeling about the offensive line and where they are relative to last year, and how do you see kind of the growth progression going? I know some big splashes in the transfer portal. What's your overall assessment of that, Ruth?
That was huge. We had to change. I had to flip the room upside down. You know? I had to get guys in here that can protect, really, and keep that guy upright. You know, because if he stays upright, things are going to go our way. Bringing Julian Armella and Cortland Ford. These are guys that you know, are big-time recruits coming out of high school, and I just like where they're at with their growth with our team. You know, Armella's done a great job because he's been here since January, and he's inserted his leadership with the team, and Cortland the same thing. So, you know, I wanted to get bigger on both sides of the ball up front, and we were able to do that this offseason.
And what's the advice to Nico, knowing that, you know, he's only got 30 days or something like that to prepare for your first game? I mean, as opposed to a quarterback who would have, you know, maybe gone through the spring with you if you guys still had, you know, Joey Aguilar. What's, I guess, the early advice in those early stages of fall camp?
I mean, there's a quarterback looking for a school right now. You know, so it is what it is. It's ball. I played in the NFL. I had a quarterback show up on Wednesday. He started for me on Sunday. You know, so it's part of the game. But I think the number one thing for him is just it's correlating. You know, everybody kind of runs similar stuff. It's just basically what's the name of this and this offense. And I think once he But I think the biggest thing is protecting him. If we can keep him protected, he'll be able to showcase his ability. If we can't do that, then it's going to be hard for him to take the steps that he needs to take.